Good day to you. So today our topic is going to be disidentifying with your emotions. Now we've learned already that over-identifying with what we're projecting out there as a mask when we're going in our career, our everyday lives, could create a lot of anxiety as we're trying to control how we want people to see us. uh, then there is over-identifying with your thoughts. Like whatever comes up to your thoughts, you think that that's the right thing. Separating yourself from that is good. But now we're going to talk about how disidentifying with your emotions is an amazing thing to add to that list of things to do. Now, as they're mentioning here, disidentifying from your emotions, from what could even be unpleasant, is not something to avoid. It's quite the opposite. You want to give room for your emotions to be able to express themselves. You just might want to find a safe place to do it. Maybe not when you're in the middle of a conversation with someone that you're trying to understand where they're coming from and where they're trying to go with their argument. Yeah, when you are giving a 10 on 10 service to someone, you're actually allowing yourself to exist to understand this person and to better serve them. It's not the time to take something personally by assuming what you think they meant. So where does this come from? There's my personal opinion and there's what the book says. So the book's mentioning that consumer society has been responsible for making us believe that only pleasure and pleasant emotions are welcome, and they try to attach that to a brand, right? So if you have this, you'll be happy, and if you're not happy, there's something wrong with you. So the stress of making ourselves happier is actually creating us more anxiety and more unpleasant feelings throughout the day, because we're obviously not feeling that right now. So is there something wrong with us? So there's going to be like this pleasure that comes from desire. I desire this thing now. I want what the brand told me, like Porsche or the chocolate bar. I want what they told me I'm going to get as of pleasure. But the moment that we get that pleasure, there's something else that starts happening. We start becoming instantly kind of like dissatisfied. So it's like this constant pursuit of going for something that you probably don't even really need or want deep down inside. And in the moment you have it, it's like you're empty. So you keep running after stuff that leave us empty. I think that's why emotions are trying to tell us something. They're trying to tell us something deeper about what is actually meaningful for us. And unless we get closer to it, those negative emotions are going to keep coming back. They're like helpers trying to tell you, look, more to the right, more to the left. No, you're completely cold. No, now you're warmer. I think emotions work more that way. It's kind of like a super high-tech mechanism that enables you to steer yourself in life to what is most meaningful to you and what does not bring meaning to you. I mean, if there's no lasting pleasure and automatically you're dissatisfied, then probably you're cold about how much you desired that thing and how much it could actually fulfill you for who you are as an individual and as an essence of being. So just imagine someone that's trying to get fit. It's like they already believe that they're going to go and suffer. Do you? Do you have to suffer to get fit? Or is that something that you should be enjoying? If you're practicing to suffer to get something that's meaningful, then that's how you're going to live the rest of your life, because that's what you practice your whole life. What if it could be enjoyable? What if it could be like the time for all that energy from your anger, it gets to express itself, but in a way that actually serves you? What about the frustration from what you said that you were going to do that you didn't do? You could use that energy and do something useful for it, such as research what you're going to do and be happy that you actually did it. Every negative emotion could bring you to something more positive that you need to be doing and that you shouldn't be pushing off to further down the line. What is it right now that I'm not expressing that I could not afford to keep ignoring? One of the hardest things in life is to accept the dreams that we're not living and do something about it. It's so much easier to worry yourself about what someone else's company needs from you, what someone else in your family needs from you, what your own children need from you. And we overcompensate there by not having time to do anything else, but it's always easier than accepting our dreams and doing something about it. I mean, let's face it, maybe what level of cowardness is there? And we think we're super courageous with the things that we've always done, but what about the things that we haven't done and that we keep neglecting? Could this be why those negative feelings are always coming up? I know for me that was the case. I was chronically angry and no one ever did anything to me. So I'm like, maybe this is an existential cry of this is not how we want to live our lives. It was my subconscious telling me you are not living what you're destined to do. You're not living what you are aligned to do and what you really want to do deep down inside, because you've become really good at masking and getting yourself busy and worried for others while not giving the best care to yourself. Take care of yourself to what's meaningful to you to the degree that you care for others. You have the best version of yourself helping them out. So I personally think that this comes from when we're going through a painful experience growing up, we kind of like disassociate from the negative emotion that comes from it. It was traumatic, right? Why would you want to just suffer for no reason. So we've been good at disassociating our energies. Our mind goes into another place because we don't like what's going on. Our emotions don't want to give us the feedback because we pushed it away, while the body is experiencing something else. But then who's teaching us how to integrate our emotions, our thinking, and our doing all at the same time? We're not, and that's what meditation and yoga are trying to bring to us. But in one format, you might be aligned to another format that works better for you. But the principle of integrating your full presence in what you're doing is the key here, and I think that's what mindful Zen habits is trying to explain to us. So whenever there's something unpleasant, we disassociate. How do we bring this back so that we could give all our attention to things? And that's why social media is hurting us, because our attention span, through the poor lifestyle choices that we have, our attention span is getting so small that unless it's colors everywhere, we're going to tune out. Well, maybe our lifestyle is not aligned to tuning things together, and maybe what we practice daily is not aligned so that we could focus all of our attention together. You know, when we're drowning ourselves with Netflix at night, what are the things that we could have been doing instead that would have made us proud of ourselves? What are the things that we're ignoring to address when we're drowning ourselves with food? When we're running from, one boyfriend or girlfriend to another, what is it that we're trying to avoid to sit down, and which might actually make us uncomfortable? But it's exactly that. Sitting with what's uncomfortable is going to download to us what needs to be done that actually matters to us. So start spending time, make time for yourself, and try to listen what your emotions might really be trying to tell yourself. You're smart in that. Use your creativity. Think about it. There might be things that you have not even allowed yourself to think about for so long that might be actually the key to what will make you happy and radiant. Accept when there's something unpleasant. Accept that it's something trying to give you feedback for what does matter to you. Remember, you are the only person that knows how to make yourself really happy. But if you don't live your life in a context by first discovering and applying those things, don't expect someone else outside of you to just guess magically, what is actually meaningful to you. Show them as a context what is meaningful to you. And unless they're like, wow, I love your lifestyle, can we compromise on how you're living your lifestyle so we could find a road so that we could express this together? Unless that's the case, don't even go to the next stage. You're just setting yourself up for something which will guarantee you pain later on in life. Start practicing giving yourself the best pleasure, and then seeing now later on who else is experiencing that type of pleasure with you. You'll find new friends, new people to hang around with, and just have the courage to be yourself. It's tough, but it's so worth it. On a closing note, just remember there's a time for everything in life. There's a time to be happy, there's a time to be sad. Make the most out of it. It's not there for no reason, or else it wouldn't have showed up. So imagine that all the things you've been running away from are friends within you, way of speaking, that are trying to guide you towards what does satisfy you in the best possible way. So your emotions are there to serve you and to lend you energy so that you never burn yourself out at trying to be good. But you can't be good if you're ignoring the good signals and the good feedbacks that your body is trying to send to you through even unpleasant emotions. Hey, what did you think of this? Do you have anything else to add? Remember, subscribe, make sure that you get the notifications for the videos, and just share this good news around. I'm just trying to be myself and try to help people out with what I'm noticing in the world. What are you noticing in the world? What have you gone through that, unless you would have gone through that, you wouldn't have been the person that you are today, that you admire, and that deserves a standing ovation, right? There's an honorable way that you are right now, perhaps based on something that wasn't pleasant at one point. So let's open our eyes with the difficulties that we go through, because we get to go through them and be a better version of ourselves. Have an amazing day, everyone. Until next time. Next topic, disconnect the amplifier of your beliefs and activate useful thinking. Can't wait to see what that is. Tune in next time.